Hello everybody, my name is Timothy and I want to welcome you to Penang Travel Tips, where I provide travel tips for you to enjoy visiting Penang. I am a Penangite. I live my whole life in Penang, and in today's video, we are going to talk about eating like a Malaysian. You probably know that Penang is regarded widely in Malaysia and sometimes even internationally as the food capital of Malaysia. Yes, Penang people, we love our food. We have absolutely good food, and we even export the name Penang food all over the world. You can go to different places, and if it doesn't say Malaysian food, they might even say Penang food. And there are specific Penang food that we love. And yeah, one day I'm going to do a video to talk about Penang food. But in today's video, I am going to talk about eating like a Malaysian, because the best way to enjoy Penang food is to eat like a Malaysian. Then you will taste the food as how we ourselves would eat it. And what we are going to do is I'm going to show you different tableware and cutlery. I'm sorry I can't show you the table because it's just out of range, so I'm going to have to pick it up. So all this tableware that I have in front of me is from my own house. But if you are eating in a hawker center, a kopitiam, or a coffee shop, a local coffee shop or a restaurant, you are going to use theirs, and quite likely they are going to use maybe plastic ones. But here I have my own home ones, so these are all porcelain and metal and so on. And I'm going to go through with you how we eat our food. As you probably know, Malaysia and Penang, we are a multiracial society. So as a multiracial society, we have food from different major races. So we have the Malays, we have the Indians, and we have the Chinese. And how we eat is actually quite different. The Chinese will have its Chinese way of eating, the Malays will have the Malays way, the Indians will have their Indian way. But we are going to start with the Pan-Malaysian way. When I say the Pan-Malaysian way, it is not really the Chinese way, it's not really the Malay way or the Indian way, but somehow it has been adopted as the way that we eat our food as Malaysian in general. So we are going to start with that, and then we are going to go through how the Chinese, the Malays, and the Indians consume their food. So let's start with the Pan-Malaysian way, and with the Pan-Malaysian way, we'll start with the plate. The tableware will be the plate, and we eat with fork and spoon. The fork and the spoon, not fork and knife, but fork and spoon. So we eat with fork and spoon on the plate. And strangely, this is, I call it the Pan-Malaysian way, because this is how you would eat it if you were to visit a Chinese economy rice stall, or if you visit a nasi kandar stall. Even though the Malays, the Indians might not use the fork and spoon, and in Chinese restaurants you might not be given the plate with the fork and spoon, but nevertheless this is how we eat it. So it will be rice on here, and then we'll eat with fork and spoon. And for Chinese shops such as chicken rice shop, they will measure the amount of rice using the bowl. So they will measure the rice using the bowl, and then they'll put the rice into the bowl like this to measure a single portion of rice. And so in so doing, they are able to get an exact volume of rice each time. So if that is not enough for you, you are very hungry and you want to order more rice. So rice in Malay is called nasi. I'm going to put the words here. Nasi is rice, and in Mandarin is fan. Fan, okay? Fan is spelled F-A-N, but it's not fan, it's fun. Fun as in fun. So much fun being in Penang. So fun. And in Penang Hokkien, it is pui. So you are seeing it written in Taiji romanization here, P-N-U-I 33. So Taiji romanization is the standard writing system for Penang Hokkien that we are popularizing. You can check it out by just googling Taiji romanization, and you can also use the Penang Hokkien dictionary, which is available free of charge on the web. Just google for Penang Hokkien dictionary and you have the dictionary with the words in Taiji romanization. So going back, so this is how they would measure the volume of rice as one bowl. So this would be considered as the big bowl. This big bowl would be how you will receive the rice the first time round. But if you want more rice, you can either order the big bowl of rice or you can order the smaller bowl. So this is the smaller bowl and this is the bigger bowl of rice. So if you order the smaller bowl of rice will come in a bowl, and then you can put it onto the plate again. So you will put it onto the plate and open up, and then you will have the rice there. And you would then eat it with your fork and spoon. And now I'm going to do a more close-up shot to show you how we eat it. So I'm going to cut to another video now to show you how you eat the rice. Now you can see the table which you can't see just now. And so this is the plate and this is the fork and the spoon. So we have the fork on the left side and the spoon on the right side. This is how we eat the Malaysian way, the Pan Malaysian way. So the fork and the spoon is how we would use it. The fork is used to push the rice into the spoon. So we don't use knife over here. We don't have to cut our food. So if we look at Malaysian food, all the food, the pieces of meat and so on are usually pre-cut. And if you have fish, then you would break out the fish using the fork and the spoon here. So I'm not having any real food here because it's going to be very messy. But anyway, this is how you will eat. By pushing it here, let's say that you have the rice over here, so you will push this way and you will eat this way. This is how you eat. So the spoon is going to be on your right side. You are going to hold it on the right side and see how I hold the spoon. This is how I hold the spoon, and this is what I do. So you can do it this way also if you wish to, but I usually do this way. This is how I do it, and this is the fork. Okay, this is how we eat the Pan Malaysian way using the fork and the spoon. I just realized that you don't really need to see my face for the rest of the video, but what you do need to see is the tableware. So the fork and spoon, we have already covered that. You will eat like this for items such as chicken rice or nasi kandar and any rice item that is Pan Malaysian. So this is how you would eat it. But if you go to a hawker stall, a Chinese hawker stall, there will be plenty of other hawker food. Some would be soupy food and some would be dried food. So if it's something totally dry like char kway teow, so this is how we call it, char kway teow. And look at how we spell char kway teow. This is the Penang spelling of char kway teow, and in Taiji romanization is the same except that it just add the tone numbers. So the numbers that you see in the name is to indicate the tone. So if you want to learn Taiji romanization, then just go to Google and key in Taiji romanization and it will explain to you those tone numbers. Nevertheless, that is how you would eat. But with char kway teow, hawker food, you don't use fork and spoon anymore. You use the chopsticks. Again, this is my home chopstick. This is not a chopstick that you would get from the hawker center because this is different. This is not like the Chinese chopstick. I don't have that at home, so I can't show it to you. But when you go to a hawker center and you look at their chopsticks, then you will see that it is slightly different. But I want to show you how we will hold the chopstick here. This is how I hold the chopstick. Can you see? This is how I will hold the chopstick. This one is resting on here and then this one is over here. So there are two sticks here. This one is the one that is going to be movable. This one is moving. This one is going to stay stationary. And so this is how I do it. You see, this is how I do it. I move this one to pick things up. So this is how I would do it with the chopsticks. So you will eat it for items such as noodles. So noodles for sure is so much easier to eat using chopstick than to use the fork and spoon, because if you eat with fork and spoon, they tend to run all over the place, as you would understand when you eat pasta. So when you are eating pasta, you will see that the pasta tends to run all over the place, but when you use the chopsticks, it's so much easier to pick things up. Next, I want to show you how to pick things up using the chopsticks. And I look all over my house for food, and finally I find that actually at home I have groundnuts. I have groundnuts at home, and so this is how I can demonstrate how to use the chopstick using peanuts. Okay, this is how you pick it up. So it's very easy to pick things up. So you take it, and then you look for a place that you can hold it, and there it goes. This is how you pick it up. So this is how you pick things up using chopsticks. And I assure you, once you train yourself with the skill, it is so much easier to use the chopsticks than to use the fork and spoon or knife. For us Asians, Malaysians, we cannot imagine how Westerners could eat with fork and knife. Your meals are always a balancing act, and I'm sure you are, if you are a Westerner, you are thinking the same thing. How do Chinese people eat with chopsticks? And it is such a balancing act to do it, but for us it's second nature. So it's so easy just to pick it up and put it away. Okay, I'm going to pick it all up, all these groundnuts, and put them away, because we are going to the next item, still on hawker food. I'm going to push the plate away, and now we have these two other plates. So hawker food may be slightly dry. There's going to be some gravy, but if it's going to be slightly dry, such as wonton mee, dried wonton mee is going to come with in a plate that is a little bit with a small descent like that, so that it can hold a little bit of the gravy. And sometimes you may buy order food that is soupy things such as kway teow theng, Hokkien mee, curry mee, and the soup type of wonton mee. So those are the main types of the soupy stuff of hawker food: kway teow theng, Hokkien mee, curry mee, and the soup type of wonton mee. They will come in a bowl. So they will come in a bowl. They will come with a pair of chopsticks, and it will come with a Chinese porcelain soup spoon. So this is the soup spoon. The soup spoon goes on your left hand. The chopsticks goes on your right hand if you are right-handed. So if a person is right-handed, as I am, then the chopsticks will be on the right-hand side, and the soup spoon will be on the left-hand side. So this one goes in here, and this one goes in, and this is how you will eat your noodle. This is how you will eat your noodle. Again, this particular chopstick, this stick, is more or less always stationary. Is the other one, the top one, that is moving to pick things up, just as what I showed you just now with the peanuts. It is this one that is moving that help me to pick up the peanuts. So that's the way to do it, and this is how you eat it. And if you go to Chinese restaurant, sometimes they will serve the rice in bowls. They will serve the rice in bowls as well, and you'll be given chopsticks as well to eat within the bowl rather than on a plate. Because as I've informed you earlier, the plate is pan Malaysian. It is a amalgamation of all our cultures, but it's not one of any of our culture. So for some reason, we eat on the plate as a Malaysian way, but in Chinese restaurant, the way to eat it is in a bowl with the rice in there. And whether it's in a plate or on a bowl or in a bowl, big bowl, or the noodle, you should never stack your rice. Never stack the rice this way, that way, anyway, so that the chopstick will be hanging on the rice itself. Don't do that. Don't do that. That is not the Malaysian way. If you are not eating, then you just put aside the chopsticks. Put it aside here or put it aside on top of the bowl. Don't stack the food. Why? Because if you have the opportunity to go to a Chinese funeral, you will see that food that is offered to the deceased will have the chopstick stacked into it. So if you stack your food like that, that means it's just like food offered to the deceased. And if you stack your own food, then you are the deceased. So don't do that. That is not a proper way to do it, and it will be frowned upon if people, Malaysians, see you doing that to your food. So don't stab your food, just put it away. And so, as I said, for soupy stuff, you will use this bowl for things like the kway teow theng, Hokkien mee, curry mee, and the soup type of wanton mee. For dried stuff, it will come in either this type of bowl, plate, saucer, or this type. So if it's a lot, then most likely it will come into a plate like this. Things such as Hokkien cha, yi fu mi, and so on may come in a plate. Sa hao fan. So those are things which will come in a plate like this. And once again, a small bowl is for extra rice. Again, rice in Malay is nasi. So extra rice is tambah nasi. If you want to ask for extra rice, say tambah nasi. And in Penang Hokkien, it is ke pui, ke pui. Beware, ke pui sounds a lot like ke pui. Ke pui means chicken rice. Ke pui means extra rice. So look at how it's written using Taiji romanization. Ke pui is extra rice. Ke pui is chicken rice. So those are some words that you can learn, and I will probably put a list of it on the Penang Travel Tips website, where you can click on the word and listen to how it is pronounced, and then learn to pronounce it to the hawker, or you can bring the whole web page and then click on the web page and let him listen to what you want. So that is another way. So this more or less covers how we eat. So fork and spoon with the plate. The rest is using the chopsticks, except for Indian and Indian Muslim and Malay food. The Malays, the Indian Muslim, and the Indians often eat without cutleries. So they would eat using the plate itself and using the hand. Two hands, if you are right-handed, use your right hand. Reserve the left hand for another thing which I'm going to tell you right now. So the right hand is to put food into you. The food will come into you using your right hand. It will pass through your system, and when it goes out of your system, you use your left hand to clean yourself. And so never ever mistaken the use of the left hand to the right hand. Right hand is for food going in. Left hand is for whatever waste coming out. So left hand for the things coming out. When you want to clean yourself, use the left hand. When putting the food into you, use the right hand. And the way to do it is, you will have the rice and the different items. Usually, you will put all the different items on the plate itself. This is how you would eat it, whether it is at a nasi kandar stall or at a Chinese economic rice stall. So, if you go to a Chinese economic rice stall, you will get the rice, and then you will select whatever dishes you want, you put into it, and then you bring it to be calculated and pay for it then and there. For the nasi kandang, you usually pay after you have eaten. So that is just the slight difference. For Chinese places, you pay before you eat. At Indian Muslim places, you pay after you have eaten. As for Malay places, I can't say. Most of the Malay places that I go through is also you pay after you have eaten. And how do you eat with your hand? So now this is how you eat with your hands. So the rice is here. You will take the rice, or if you want to put some things on the rice, let's say a piece of fish or a piece of beef. So you will break it. You will break it with your finger. You will break it with your finger. You break the fish. You will break the beef or a piece of egg. You break them, and then you take and you put it on the rice, and you use the end portion of your finger. You eat with the end portion of your finger only. You take it up and you use the thumb to gently push it into your mouth. Don't do it too aggressively, because then the rice will fall all over the place. So it is like a spoon. Your hand is now like a spoon, where the thumb is the one that's going to push the food into your mouth. I'm going to move the camera again so that you can see how it looks like. Well, I'm once again showing my face because I want to show you how we eat. So let's start with the fork and spoon. So you will take it from the plate, and then you will put it in your mouth. Okay, you put it in your mouth. So that is eating with fork and spoon. The same with the chopsticks. So if you eat with chopsticks, so you pick something up with the chopstick and put in your mouth. Simple. And if you eat with your hand, as I showed you just now, the thing will be in your hand. How? Okay, like this. So you will shove it in your hand. You will shove it in your hand using your thumb. You will shove it in your hand using your thumb. Simple. When I was small, I eat with my hand the whole time, because when you eat some rice items such as nasi kandang with your hand, the taste is simply different from using cutleries. So if you have the guts, try it once, and you will enjoy eating the Malaysian way. If you follow me on Facebook, you will see that I go all over. I get lots of invitation all over Penang to eat here, to eat there, eat everywhere. I love food. I love whether it's Penang food, Malaysian food, Western food. I eat all over the place. But in this video, I want to show you how you eat Malaysian food, particularly Penang food. And through this particular video, I hope I've given you all the guidance on how to eat using our tableware, you call it silverware, I call it cutlery, and this is how we eat it. I hope that through this video, it will give you the boldness, the guts to eat the Malaysian way. Put away how you eat using just a fork. Try to learn to eat using the fork and spoon, so that you will assimilate yourself into how the food should be eaten. So that's all for today's video. I'm so happy that to have you join me in learning how to eat the Malaysian way, and I hope that you'll join me in other videos in future at Penang Travel Tips. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the Penang Travel Tips YouTube channel for more tips on enjoying Penang. And until then, I'm signing off. Thanks so much for watching.